All right, people. Guess what? We have another gospel go-go legend here to share his story behind the crank. We got Big Brother Brent. We got
Yes, sir.
Husky. We got what's the name you said? Husky.
The
What's that?
Swayze. That's back when we had the Swayze thing going on.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so hold on. Let the people know what that nickname was.
Man, I wish I knew what it meant. That was something. I think Jimmy one day when we were outside his house playing basketball just came out of nowhere and was like, "Yeah, we should do something Swayze." And I think he played some random song, but it literally just was something. It has no meaning. It has like nothing, nothing deep to it. Like nothing important about it. It was just something that we came up with, and it worked. Ended up naming the song after it. Had a few names and kind of caught on. Some other people started naming themselves after it and all that. So yeah,
True,
cool.
true. Man, you know what's funny? I thought that came from, and it shows my age, right? I thought that the Swayze came from Patrick Swayze
But that's the
because
only
he's
Swayze
been
I
a
know.
cool guy.
That's the only
Okay,
Swayze I know. But I couldn't make a connection.
okay, okay. All right, all right. So
Yeah,
let
yeah.
you know what? Let's do this. Let's jump back further, right? Let's
Okay.
talk some old school gospel go-go. Actually, before that, how did you get introduced to go-go music? Because from what I remember, you you're not originally from the DMV, is that right?
That's correct. That's correct. So I'm originally, I claim it to the death of me. I'm from Smithfield, Virginia, where they make the pork and all the ham and the bacon and all that stuff. Back country woods. It's probably about 20 minutes from Newport News and Hampton. Though it's not
Okay,
too far from there, but it is
okay,
it's in the sticks. So I went from there to South Carolina, and then I got up this way to the DMV when I was about 12. So
okay.
I had no clue what go-go was. Funny thing is, matter of fact, when I heard it, I kept hearing the name like backyard and go-go and backyard. I thought backyard was a genre. So I had really no clue about what it was at all. But like, of course, going to school and stuff, you heard the kids playing the MOBs and the CCDs and the raw image and stuff like that. So I adapted pretty quick. But
Okay.
yeah. So I guess my first time going to go-go's, wow. My first time might have been a gospel go-go though. Actually, my very
Really?
first go-go, I think it's probably something that maybe was at Glen Arden or maybe with Josh or something like that. That might have been my first introduction to a live go-go show. But then, of course, I started, found my way to the tunnel and the neon and a whole bunch of smaller secular places.
Okay. Okay. All right. So around what year was this when you transitioned to the DMV?
So was it 2000? It was between like 2000 and 2001, I believe.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So how did you okay, so then
My bad.
how did you get connected with Jimmy? So for the people out here, so Jimmy is Jimmy Jenkins. He's uh one of the sons of the lead
Yeah,
pastor of uh First Baptist Church of Glenard. If you are in the DMV, you
yeah,
know what the who the First Baptist Church of Glenard. You know about that church. They
for sure,
they are they
for
have the
sure,
power
for sure,
over in
for
Washington
sure,
D.C.
for sure,
Uh,
for sure,
all
for
right,
sure.
so give me the background. How did you guys get involved? How did you guys connect?
So, through like sports and stuff like that, and our church, my home church was Triumphant Church that was in Hyattsville, and we
Hmm.
used to do a lot of stuff with Glen Arden, whether it had been basketball or some camps or finding some stuff to do. I think one time, well, the actual time we decided to make a go-go band was when we were going to Kings Dominion. But I had met Jimmy, and my cousin Sean was the original too, and we were going down to Kings Dominion on the back of a charter bus. And we
Okay,
just started. Matter of fact, before we left, we were in the church just fiddling around on the instrument, and we were like, "Man, we should start a band." Like, let's just start a band. Everybody back then was like, "Yeah, we can do a band. We got you can play this, you can play that. That works for me. Let's go. Let's start a band." So we were on that whole wave, and while we were on the back, we were like, well, should we do a gospel band? Should we do a secular band? Like, what should we do? And it boiled down to, honestly, uh, we didn't think that Pastor Jenkins was going to support us if we did a secular band, and we were
Uh-huh.
like, well, we might want to go gospel then because we don't have no money for no equipment, no money for nothing. So if we want to have some good graces, then we might want to put the Lord's name on it. So that's how kind of it came about. And I mean, Jimmy and Sean, we still friends to this day. We were just in the group chat talking trash about the NCAA bracket, so we all still thick as thieves.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Okay, so what year? Okay, so you guys got connected through the church relationship from Triumph and First Baptist Church of Glen Arden,
Uh,
and y'all was thick as thieves from day one, right?
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Okay. So from what I remember, that's right. You said you was into sports. I know
yeah,
Jim
for sure.
played football. I believe you played football too. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. All right.
definitely.
So would you you husky. So
Yeah,
did you offense or defensive line? Which one?
both. I played both. I was actually gonna end up with on the middle linebacker phase, before I took different routes, but I was moving back because I had pretty good footwork. I could hit a little bit,
Okay.
move a little bit too. So yeah, the older you get in college and all that stuff, I ain't the tallest or the biggest. I'm 6'2", but I can fit in some of them guys' pockets. So
Got you. I got you. So
yeah,
so did y'all play on high school or was this like what kind of
yeah, yeah. So Jimmy played college. I I pretty much, as far as playing games, stopped at high school though. We all make decisions and that we think about. Man, I should have done things a little bit different, but yeah, that was the last time I actually got to play in games. Was high school. But
okay.
yeah,
All right.
trying to
So
think who else over time because I think we had some. Yeah, Flats played with University of Maryland for a little bit. He was our keyboarder. Actually,
mm,
the first show he was our Congo player.
oh really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a whole nother interesting story, man. When we first got started,
Hey,
we had all types of
we
people
get to
out of
it.
their position.
We gonna get
Every-
to it. All right. So okay, so y'all started a band and was it Critical Revelation at that time or did it have a
yeah,
different name?
so we pretty much stuck with the same name all the way through. We definitely contemplated changing the name, but we came up with Critical Revelation rather quick, and it stuck with us all the way through. We never changed name.
Okay. Okay. So how did you guys come up with that name? Because that's a very good catchy name. It has a lot of
Yeah,
power to it too.
ma- and I wish I had some deep philosophical like reason. Man, we were just throwing names out. It was like what sound tight. Like literally, that's all it was, man. So like I say that to say like what ended up happening with it, it had to just be God ordained because we weren't smart enough to come up with anything. Like we weren't even in tune with God enough at that point to be coming up with a name that had deep spiritual meaning or anything like that. So he gave us God gave the idea and it just we ran with it. Yeah, and it stuck. It made sense.
Okay. 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 Well, let me give you an update real quick.
Uh huh.
We got some folks that have been dropping some messages because
Okay.
we're on YouTube, we on
Uh huh.
Facebook,
Yeah.
and we are on Instagram, right? So, with that being said, guess what?
What was that?
The people are asking. I'm not asking, even though
Uh-oh.
I'm asking. But the
I think
people are
I think I know what the question is. I think I know what the question is.
asking. Well, let me put this out here. So, let's see. It looks like Adele says, "Can we get a CRB Wanted reunion summer 2025 hashtag redemption?" That's number one. Okay. So over in Instagram, we have another one. Hold on, where did it go? Where did it go? So just if you're on Instagram or a different platform, if you want your comment to to pop up on the screen to be a part of the conversation, you need to transition over to YouTube. You know, let's go ahead and transition on over. All right. So we also have someone that says we need a CRB reunion. So that's two in the first 10 minutes calling for this reunion. I'm just
Man,
saying. Hey,
when
hey,
I posted the flyer for this, people
right?
hit me talking. I thought it was a reunion. I thought it was y'all. We need a reunion. We need a reunion, man.
Hey,
Oh, I mean, so in hindsight, it would be amazing.
okay.
It would be great to do. But when I think about the uphill mountain just to get it done,
Mhm.
it's very difficult to get 8 to 10 people that now have families and work schedules and lives together enough to practice. So for me, like I'm definitely not trying. Just like when we were in it wholeheartedly, I'm not trying to go anywhere sounding like garbage.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people make the mistake of having reunions, thinking that they can just get up there based off of what they used to do and not really put the necessary practice time in. I'm highly against that because
True.
I mean, we built the name, so why do stuff to tarnish it at the end because we don't know how to say, all right, we're done. And I know that a lot of people want the reunion, but when I think about, we would need a solid 3 months of practice just to get kind of in shape and kind of get back to it for real like we're supposed to, and that's a lot. That's a lot to get 10 people to figure out practice times. Now, when we were young and we were in it and we were doing it every Sunday, 4 o'clock at Rio, we were locked in. You know what I mean? Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, it's what we were doing. But now it's like my Sundays, by the time I finish, like playing the drums at church or whatever, and I get home, that's the first day I really got to sit down and enjoy family a little bit or just kind of kick back. So now you're talking about taking that to go to rehearsal for some people who might show up, might not show up, might want to pay for rehearsal, might not want to pay for rehearsal. It's an uphill battle when you think about all the logistic stuff that needs to happen in order to make it happen. I would love to hit the stage again. I would love to play. Like it's definitely fun, a passion, but I don't know. I just don't see how it's gonna happen.
Okay. All right. Well, let's just not say never.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say
Let's
never. I'm
say,
not gonna say never.
it just got to be one of those work in progress things. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And we've tossed around the idea of even coming together to make one like great studio. See, but my thing is getting on stage was the easier part of it, the actual show or whatever. So if we're gonna practice to do an album, we're gonna be ready for the stage. So if
True.
you do one, you might as well do the other.
True. Hey,
So
I, I,
it's been tossed around. It's not completely out the window. Buddy Love, he's the number one advocate. Yeah, I might hear it at least once a week from him, at least once a week about doing a reunion.
hey,
So
that could be God
it,
speaking.
it might be. I might get a little spotty with my service. I'm actually just pulling up to work, so if I
Okay.
drop, I'm gonna pick it up as soon as I get inside in my office.
That'll work. That'll work. That'll work. All right. So one more thing from Adele, right?
Uh-huh.
Adele says, as a band known for making original music, what was the process of coming up with songs, writing, etc.?
That's a good one. That's a good one. So it's funny that you pointed out the originality because for a long time we argued in practice about whether to do top 100 songs or whatever on the radio or whether we should come up with our lyrics because I mean it's one, taking songs from the radio or whatever is easier. Two, more people will know it, they don't have to learn it before they get with it. um, and yeah, I mean it is what it's a familiar sound, so the radio might pick up us recording it, so all of that makes sense. But for me, I always like the originality because of how much longer it could last. It doesn't put a cap on if it's an old song based upon if it's not on the radio anymore. Also, people call me crazy all the time, but I had big dreams as far as gospel go go. Like as far as how far to take it. And I've always thought that one of Go-Go's biggest problems was the fact that they lacked the originality in their songwriting, and you can only go so far playing other people's music. So for me, I wanted to go places with the music that we made from our experiences, and yeah, I mean, the writing was more so personable to us. Like when we made songs like "Fall Over" and stuff like that, it had meaning to it. Like um we went through stuff. We had trials and tribulations. We had adversity. We had a whole lot of issues going on. So we were being original allowed us to put stuff like that in the music. Um, we when we come up with songs like True Religion, it's because we were really like we battled off of, all right, is go-go okay, or is this okay to do in church? The church says this is wrong or whatever. But no, the religion's what you make it. The religion is your relationship. Like, so songs like that came from what we were actually battling, where churches would try and control us or tell us what we could and can't do, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. So it original music. So the process of it though was a boring process. Seemed like I say Jimmy a lot. He was the number one shooter downer. Every song that you've heard that we ever played, literally the first practice, Jimmy said, "This song sucks. Let's do another one. Let's start over. Let's throw this in the trash. This sucks." So it was better in the first couple of days of creation that Jimmy wasn't there because he was just a bad spirit. But no, it did have boring moments. But rehearsal time was geared towards not necessarily preparing for a show. We would use the last 30 minutes to do a set run through for an upcoming show, but most of it was geared to creating something different and trying to be innovative, trying to have a unique sound, trying to do something that somebody else isn't doing, trying to have some lyrics that have some meaning to it. Yeah, so it was boring, but I think the extra practice time, like backline was able to come, like, hey, we got this song. Frontline was able to come and say, hey, we got these lyrics. Like, what do y'all think? Can you make something to this? The time outside of just practice time, where everybody was getting together and doing whatever they needed to do to create and to get better and sharpen their skills. Iron sharpens iron. Like we were going through all of those processes. So it definitely doing a whole band creating original music, and everybody isn't as strong as others either. You talk about having three keyboard players, guitar players, bass players, percussion. Everybody's musical level is different. So that's also something that you learn to hash out is knowing what people can do, because I'm a firm believer of people support what they help create. So even though this person might not be we still about this part because that's going to make them want to, hey man, listen to this song that we just made, rather than somebody coming to the band, you tell them what they play, and it's boom, boom, boom. Like, no, we don't want mannequins, we want members, we want people that are helping to build this thing up. So creation process used to get a little boring sometimes, but it was fulfilling. Being able to, like, songs like "Put Your Hands on Me," after we recorded that, I might have listened to it about 50 times straight, literally. Just having that nobody can take away from us, like, for the rest of my life. That's a song that we made from the bottom to the top, and it's a different type of sense of pride with it, I guess.
Yeah, you guys got some classic songs. Some classic songs. But let's
Sorry.
you good? Okay, this is it, folks. This is the transition. Brent is transitioning. Going to give us one. Bear with, bear with. All right. So, folks, while we waiting on Brent, let's do this. Let's do this. Go ahead and put your questions in the chat, right? So that when Brent comes back on, we can have a bunch of questions. If you want to say something nice, you know, put that in the chat too. So let's keep this thing rocking. We're gonna keep it going. We'll see if we can convince Brent to do a reunion by the end of the show. We'll see. Hey, if you guys want it, put it in the chat. If you guys want that reunion, let them know. Let the Lord use you with your comments. All right. So, again, Brent is transitioning from the vehicle into the office, and then we're going to pick this right back up. So Question for everybody watching right now: what is your favorite CRB song? Put it in the group chat. Put it in the group chat real quick. Let's see if there's a consensus on everyone's favorite song. You can put it on Instagram. You can put it on YouTube. You can put it everywhere. Chop Shop. I agree. That was amazing. I remember the first time hearing that song. Oh my God. Erica says it's too many to list. Let's get a few. You ain't got to do them all. Get a few. Yeah, let's get a few. All right. Beef it up. Okay. All right. Hallelujah. Okay. I'm with that. I was listening to that today earlier. Okay, so we got a lot of chop shops. Let's see what else we got. We got another with chop shop. And again, if you on Instagram and if you want your comment to pop up, transition over to YouTube. Go to the Gospel Go 411 page. You'll be able to jump in and you can be even more a part of the conversation. All right? And for real, if you jump on YouTube and if you want to actually be a part, you can actually speak directly to Brent if you want to. Because we could do it. We could do it all here. All right. So Brent is still transitioning, still working on it. All right. So we got two for Chop Shop. Let's see here. We got one for Jesus Music. We have Crazy. God's Girl. Erica says God's Girl. And shout out to Megan. Phil is in the building. The drummer from CRB is in the building. All right. Good to see you. All right. Power in your name. Okay. I think Brent is back. Brent, are you back? Hold on. Let me do something real quick here. All right, Brent, you're back. You here with us?
I'm here.
All right, we is ready to roll. Okay. All right. So let's see here. There you go. Let's see here. Right. So we have a lot of people putting in all of their favorite hits by CRB, right? We're going to talk about those a little bit more, but let's dig back to the past, right? So when you first created the band with Jimmy and everybody else, who was in the band at that time?
All right, so we started out with a lineup like this. And shout out to everybody. So we had on the front line, it was Jimmy, it was Mike Staten, it was Cal Evans, Joe, rest in peace, Joe. It was India. I want to say about it. Scuba Steve used to grab a mic every now and then. Backline, I was playing drums. And the original Fletch was playing the congos and timbales before we figured out that he knew how to play the keyboard.
Okay.
Who else was it? Who was playing keyboard? Sean was playing keyboard. Jamie Jamie wasn't there for the first show, was he? I don't think Jamie did. It was the first show. Dang, this taking it back. I need to go back and see some video from because our first show was at Six Flags, so that'll tell me who was it. Yeah, wow,
Okay.
didn't deserve to be there.
You have to tell the story of how that came about.
So, organization, I guess they still do stuff under the name Young Life. I believe they still, yeah. So Young Life, actually, I'm not. I knew a bunch of good people that worked with Young Life. Shout out to Danielle, Minister West. It was a lot of people that worked for him. So I don't know. I don't remember which one got us there, but Young Life was doing an event at Six Flags. So I think Minister West knew that we were starting a band because he was the youth minister at the church that I was at, where we left to go to King's Dominion from. Okay. So from there, I think they booked us to play at Six Flags for our first show. I want to say that 10 Commandments. Thanks, Quick. I want to say that 10 Commandments was on that card as well.
Okay. OG.
But yeah, so we definitely didn't deserve to be there. We sucked. Like I think Fletch was playing the congos like they were timbales with drumsticks, and we were just all, we didn't deserve to be there. We didn't. Yeah.
God knew what he was doing. He had
that's what it is. Because we didn't
train on.
We didn't. We didn't at all.
So everybody knows Young Life is a ministry that pretty much engages kids and takes them on spiritual journeys and exposes them to new things. And they've done a lot in the community, whether it's DC, VA, Maryland, and probably I think all over the country, right?
Yeah. I think up and down the East Coast at least.
Young Life been doing.
Yeah, and for a while. Making a strong impact. Yeah, Young Life is dope. Always has been to me.
Yeah.
Gave us a lot of show opportunities actually because they the river over there by Crystal Skate, they had some events over there that we would do with them. They some outside events. Yeah, they were putting us on a lot and we didn't deserve it.
Hey, God knew what he was doing.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so y'all started off at Six Flags, right? So what was it like playing on that show? Give us paint the picture.
So really it was like a bunch of kids banging on instruments, honestly. Because we didn't have any skill. I think we covered Israel, I Am Not Forgotten. And yeah, we were just bad. Like we didn't have any sense of like song formatting or crowd control or anything. Like we were just literally making noise to the best of our ability. And so yeah, I mean we had no professionalism, no etiquette, no anything. We didn't even own keyboards at the time, I don't believe. So I think a guy who named Mr. Mike, we used to practice in his basement. He made us even cut his grass so that we could borrow his keyboard before. So yeah, like we came from nothing really. Like we didn't have timbales, we didn't have anything. So
talk about humble beginnings.
Yes, like literally.
All right, so from that show, what was next?
So shortly after that, one thing that I'll never forget is we were getting ready to play. Ebenezer used to have those big events. I don't remember if it was back to school or if it was. They used to use Crossland's gym. Was it a back to school event or was it just a youth explosion or something?
Around what year?
This was probably 06 or 07.
06. Because that was after what we were doing. So it could have been a back to school.
It might have been. I know it was flooded. I know it was packed in there. And so we were on the car, and I think Exodus was going to play as well. And we got up there, and I remember we had just, got enough money and bought some keyboards. I think we paid like $600 and got some equipment finally. We got up there. The sound man was like, all right, I'm plugging stuff in. He plugged all the keyboards into this one little surge protector and plugged them in. and they all flashed and started smoking. All three of them. So at this point, we're a bunch of kids, so none of the other bands were really trying to say, here, you can borrow our keyboards for the show, because our keyboards were done. We ended up not playing. And I remember I was furious. Like, bro, I was steaming, because it was like, this is our chance. It's the crowd we want. Like, this is, it's, kids our age, there's people in here. Like, we're going to kill it. Let's go. Like, this is our time. And then the keyboards blew out. The sound man took no responsibility whatsoever for what happened. And we didn't even get to play. But I remember Josh kept on telling me, because he was our manager at the time. Shout out to Josh Jenkins. He's probably the worst manager you ever could have. And great guy, but he's probably the worst manager that we ever could have imagined having. He helped a great deal with practice and my personal growth on the stage and stuff. But as far as manager, he was terrible. But he did give me this lesson. He said to God be the glory. And that was a lesson that kind of I had to play through. It at the time it didn't, I didn't want to hear it, but it was one of those things where it's like, all right, this situation is going bad. It could be a whole lot worse, but it's ordained the way it's supposed to happen. To God be the glory. Like, whatever it is what it is. We weren't supposed to do this. And looking back on it, we probably would have done more hurt to our name if we had played at that show than good, because we would have done we just weren't good. And we're getting up there competing with a bunch of kids that's used to hearing like TCB and all these, great bands. Like, we probably would have tarnished our image, like, if I'm just being real looking back on it. But it was still, it was a tough lesson. But when you're able to carry that now, like, things don't kind of ruffle your feathers as much, because I learned, to God be the glory, that night. And here's the other kicker. So they did pay us, which was a good thing. They paid us for the show, but they made the check out to the band name. We were young. We ain't had no bank account, nothing like that. So Josh tried to, take the check to his bank. They couldn't do anything. So when we reached back out, like, hey, the check is in the wrong name. Can you change the name? They were like, well, you guys didn't even play. It's like, oh man, it carried us. So we, it was one of them times we had to get back on the grind, figure out how to get keyboards. And at the time, I was driving a Volvo station wagon. We used to load up all the equipment, all the people, and we used to make it happen. That's when we were had the privilege. We got Kyle K Strings. He joined the band, and his dad was a deacon at Crossover Church, and some way he worked it out that we could practice in their church basement, where they had like a little stage, little setup. So we used to grind it out in there, and every Sunday I would load up the Volvo wagon, and everybody pile in, and we would get there and have practice to the best that we could until we got the Rio blessing with the practice in there every week. So,
okay. So, at what point did you guys feel your band was like, you guys were
so hold real quickly. You need me? Okay, can I call you so I don't hold you up? Is it something dire? All right, I'll call you as soon as I finish this. Thanks, man. All right, but let's see. So at what point, you said at what point did I realize that we were? I don't think I did. So okay. I'm honestly my worst critic. And I'm competitive, if that means so. I always thought that we could do better, that we could grow higher, we could. So like sometimes even I had a stigma where people were calling me arrogant and stuff, because I would go to shows and sometimes I would stare and not really be like dancing and partying and stuff like that. Not because I wasn't enjoying myself, not because I wasn't I wasn't feeling the music, but because I'm an observer. Like, so in my mind, I'm listening and seeing what people are doing on the stage. If they're going to do a dance move, if they're going to play a special type of reset, if it's a different way they do a rock out, if it's a certain type of chant. In my mind, I'm listening to what you're doing, so we can figure out how we're gonna elevate that times 10. Like that's just the competitor in me. So it was like, and the band members would tell you every time we circled up and prayed before a show, I would just say, I would say, hey, let's make the stage so nobody else can play after us. Like let's set it on fire so people don't even want to think that they could touch, the stage after what we're doing. Not in the arrogant way, but I kind of demanded is a strong word, but I demanded the intensity and everything from the band. Like I wanted you to give me everything you had every single time that we stepped on the stage. And I think that that kind of translated into the, I guess, arrived type of thing. So I mean, after you do it once or twice, it becomes the expectation. Like nobody wants to come see you and you have a slumming night. So it was like, all right, let's keep pushing the bar, keep pushing the envelope. It's funny that like some people, I don't agree, like not even a little bit, but like how people now will even say like I was their favorite lead mic or the best, and it's like, no, I'm not. Like I'm so far from that. I was honestly just blessed to be in a situation where I had great band members. I had creative band members. We were able to do things out the box. The band allowed me to try different stuff, allowed us to try different stuff as a whole. Like it allowed us to, I think people confuse me being the best with me being different. And when I say being different, like we would throw skits and stuff in there. Like our shows would have a message in there. Even if we're playing the same songs, the way the songs are going to flow in the set is going to tie into whatever scripture or whatever we're going to try and communicate for that night. Like everything was going to make a, like it was intentional. Like we didn't have accidental shows. It wasn't very many times we're going to say, all right, what song y'all want to do now? Or like we thinking or anything. Like, no, this moment ties into spick and span, or we had a homeless person come up on stage and we talked about the least of these, or I think that's the show where I passed around the rose and the rose petals came off and said, God can put you back together type of thing. Like it was just always a method. I remember one time we used a a prop gun and was even like the wages of sinners death. If you have to die for your sin right now, would you take this bullet? It was like, type of it was always just intentional. And I think that allowed people to think that, all right, we're the best. Like, because I wasn't, like, especially when you're in the realm with people like Showtime, Wayne, and Reds. Like these, they're really good. They're really good. Like flat out, those guys are really good. Like, I mean, and even the people before me too, CJ, like these guys are really, really good. I don't put myself in that category, but I mean, I guess to God be the glory. Other people see fit to name me with that. And I mean, I'm grateful because like we talked about, I didn't grow up in go-go at all. So everything that CRB got was literally coming from the bottom. And we grew, we grinded, we learned, we failed, we made mistakes, and we just kept trucking and got to a point where I guess people want to hear us play again now at this old age. So
hey, you guys and gal are young.
yeah.
Trust.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So when it comes to the evolution of CRB, right? Who do you think is the catalyst in the band that was always like, hey, we're gonna push this thing forward. We gotta change and go to another level.
So I think most people were like that in their own regard. Buddy Love was always, with always with a new idea or wanting to do something a little different or push the envelope a little bit. He was always definitely the practicer, wanting to get together. Let's have backline practice. Let's have this practice or that practice. So I would definitely say him. But me as well. Like I told, I always wanted to push the envelope and do something. Like they laughed at me because I used to say we're gonna play at the Super Bowl one day. Like I used to say that all the time, and they would laugh at me. But it's like I believe that we're different enough. I believe go-go is the most powerful music that there is because it incorporates every genre. It's interactive. I said I don't see why we couldn't get on the national stage, but they used to laugh at me. But I just yeah, I think Mari was Mari, our bass player, was a guy who could play. I think Mari plays 3, 4 different instruments. Musically, he helped out a whole lot. Um, just different lines. But even before Mari, we had Rob playing bass. Who I think Rob played with New Impressions. What band? I'm not sure who he plays with now. It might be what I'm not sure. But
What band?
yeah, he brought a certain discipline to us. And a certain go-go etiquette that we didn't have, helping us format sockets and helping us to know when it's time to close it and when it's time to let it breathe and when it's time to drop the music. He helped us with that that etiquette is the best term that I can find with it. But then I think Mari just brought a little bit of more pop and flair than Rob, and it grew. Of course, K Strings is just his own animal on the guitar. Like he's just having him was a cheat code almost. Curtis, when we not to knock anybody before Jamie and all those guys, but when we brought Curtis, that brought another dynamic to us as well, because Kurt, making beats and all that stuff, having that little bit of background, he pushed us a lot. Yeah, frontline, we were an interesting bunch. The front line, we were interesting, just to say the least.
Y'all had superstar singers on y'all front line for real,
Yeah,
for real. Cause y'all had name all your singers. Cause y'all had like 50 of
Joe, India, Ashley, Megan, Donnie. Then we transitioned to Nay. Um, Damn, I feel bad. It was another guy we had. I can't even remember his name right there. He only sang for like a brief second though, but that's pretty much the whole. We did go through some singers. Yeah, we went through some frontline members too. I met some hype men and two mics. Jimmy, uh, Jimmy, Rob Bumper, Jr. was with us for a second. Dang, who else was on the front line? It was somebody. It's Devin, Ralphie.
them.
Missing some other people too. Man, it's so many. It's so many. Farley even got on the front line for a second, man, and ruined the CD.
Oh, speaking of father, he is here. He says,
Yeah.
Brent.
I got you, Farley. I just said your name. There you go. I just gave you a claim to fame. Look, hide your Congo mics from Farley, because if he wants to say something, he gonna grab the Congo mic and he's gonna be directly in it and loud and butcher the CD. But now I love Farley. Farley a great dude, man. Been around for a good long time. Helped a whole lot of bands out. Did a whole lot of good things. So definitely shout out to you, bro.
If it wasn't for Folly, Gospel Go-Go wouldn't have had that run during COVID.
Yeah.
Have music being played
Yeah.
on Praise 104.1.
Yeah. Farley definitely put his footprint in that thing and help the movement. Definitely.
Sure. Salute,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. All right. So, what are your top 3 gospel go-go bands of all time?
Of all time. That's a toughie. Of all time, top 3. All right. So I gotta say this. I'm gonna put Wanted at the top of the list.
Okay.
And here's why. If Wanted never came out, CRB wouldn't have been what they were supposed to, what we grew to be. When they came out, first, like I told you, I'm not a native to go-go or any of that stuff. I was a musician, but as far as like go-go, I wasn't a native at all. When they came out, they let me know that school was in session. And I learned so much from Steph and the band. Like I know the whole band was goons, a group of goons that could kill. but I learned so much. And when they came out, honestly, it was a crossroad for us because it's either we step up or shut up, like type thing. And this is me and my competitive nature. Not necessarily saying that that's what God's plan was going to be, but I'm just saying that when they came out, it made me say, all right, what we going to do? And I gotta hats off and respect, not no bad blood or anything, even though definitely wanted to compete with one on every card we were on. Like I told you, I'm a natural, like sports and all that stuff. I want every show that we were on together, and I'm sure they felt the same way. Like, but it's no love lost. I can still call any one of those guys right now, and we'd be good. But for I have to give them their due diligence just because of that. They changed. I think they changed gospel go-go. We talk about how like Steph Curry changed basketball. I think that Warner changed gospel go-go. And I just give them credit for that. And so I respect them there in that seat. I gotta say Exodus. I believe I say this with pride, and this is from me studying and being around and seeing and just not being a native, but still like hearing and saying, okay, that dude is Kofat, CJ, that Negro is pound for pound the best lead mic to ever touch a stage. I mean, my opinion, whatever, pound for pound, CJ Blair probably is the best lead mic and I'm talking not just talking gospel. I'm saying that. I mean, of course, it's some legends but as far as what I've experienced wholeheartedly, like being there and experienced for myself, yeah.
All right. So just so folks may not be aware, okay, CJ, there has been many eras of Exodus Band, right? So CJ was, I guess you could say, the last era of Exodus Band, right? So he was a phenomenal rapper, like phenomenal rapper. On top of being a phenomenal rapper, he was able to introduce hood concepts in a biblical way and paint the picture for you, right?
Picasso, I'm telling you.
On top of being a great orchestrator on the mic, and yeah, DJ did his thing for sure.
Crowd control, creativity, even the original writing, like the original Jones, original that to this day you turn on and like, oh, that ain't no old hit. That joint crank right now, like Butterflies and I done heard Kofat like stuff like that. You just you know it's just different. So I gotta give flowers there. So that's 2. 3, I'm torn.
Okay.
I'm torn between.
I got an idea who it is, but go ahead.
I'm torn between Submission, and Young Disciples.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm torn there.
Kind of figured it. So if you don't know, Submission Band is another legacy, OG gospel go-go band, right?
For sure.
We will have 2 on the platform.
Absolutely.
We will have Chuck and Drew.
Yeah.
That play the web band on the platform. Just so y'all know, these people are coming.
Yeah.
They lined up. We got some other folk. We ain't dropping them names yet, but they coming. All right.
Yeah.
So you also said Young Disciples. So background. Young Disciples, I believe, is the first band to come out of First Baptist Church of Glenard. Is that right?
Yeah. For the most part, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. So
I mean, if Josh is in it, he a product.
and in that band, so like if you listen to regular go-go right now, if you listen to Subtle, that band had Kendall in it.
Kendall,
on the front line.
Frank K.
They had several members that are currently playing in Tony's band, Out the Box
Yeah.
Experience. So trust me,
Yep.
if you want you want to hear some good gospel go right here right now, go check out the Box Experience. They play every first Sunday at the Shark Bar in Waldorf. So get there, go check that out. Right?
Yeah.
All right. So, I got it. We got to give our disclaimers.
For sure.
What's popping, right? All right. So, Young Disciples was from the era where everybody was playing at the Tabernacle Church in Laurel, aka the Tab, right? All right. So, did you get to experience any of those gospel go-go's?
I went to the Tab once.
Okay. Tell us about it. What was your experience like?
Oh, it was like that. Young Disciples, actually, I think they closed that night. I think Exodus had to play somewhere else. So Young Disciples closed, and yeah, it was. I mean, cranking. It was packed. It was different. The energy. Yeah, it was. It was everything. Like it was. Like I say, go-go is the most powerful music. Like because I don't think anything else brings what it brings. So Tabernacle is a iconic venue, and it lived up to the name. It was in there. It was a vibe. It definitely was a vibe for sure.
Okay. For sure. Speaking of iconic venue, what are your top 3 places that you have either? Matter of fact, no. We're gonna say it like this. What are your top 3 places that you went to experience gospel go-go?
That I went to.
Yeah.
That's a tough one that I went to. So not playing. We didn't play. I just was a visitor.
You was just a visitor. Because we're going there next.
Okay.
Okay.
I think when I first got here, my church went to the complex.
Okay.
I think that's what it was. I believe so. I was very ignorant to it, but I can remember the atmosphere. So gotta put that in there. Man, Ebenezer has some iconic stuff in there too. Dang, man, this is a tough one. Trying to remember, man. I feel like stuff was so long ago. Best one I went to.
Or it don't necessarily have to be one particular show. It could be a series of shows.
Okay.
Let me throw some names at you. You got the Underground.
Yeah.
The Underground, right?
Yeah. 100 degrees.
You got Pulse / 360.
360. Right? Definitely iconic. Definitely. Right. But see, that's what I was gonna name that for playing though.
Okay.
Places we played at.
What? I'm jumping too far. I'm excited. My bad, people. All right. So, what are your 3 top places to play?
Top places we play. I love the 360 and the Pulse. Those were amazing. Man, I feel like everywhere kind of had their thing. I like the Mount Calvary. I like playing up there. The Underground, but I feel like that's biased because that was yeah. I mean, it was yeah. I guess though. Yeah. The Underground definitely was a great one for me.
I believe that was your first go at promote.
Yeah, that was the first. Yep. So, because the pastor at the time, he was kind of entrusted me to kind of do some things to try and grow the youth group up a little bit. So, like, well, let's try to do a show down here. I don't know how it's gonna work. The room, it looks like it's big enough. I don't know. Definitely wasn't big enough for the first time, but we had a good. Yeah, I love the Underground. It was a chance to grow, a chance to fail. You learn a lot from your failures. You learn a lot from at the end of the night when you gotta go to the ATM. because you ain't make enough money at the door, and you gotta, still pay people that gave their service. So you learn a whole lot, man. And it was a blessing that we were in a place that wasn't, hey, y'all gotta pay us. It's $1,000 for this night. We weren't in that type of situation. So we kind of were able to still do our thing without that overhead. So shout out to them. It was actually, the underground was in Triumphant. So shout out to Triumphant for helping us get that going. But yeah, the underground definitely was cool.
Yeah. It was a great vibe, great look. It's like
Yeah,
y'all had different rooms, and like you
yeah,
go through one room and then you got to go through another, and then
yeah,
then you make it to the gospel go.
yeah,
It was dope. It was dope.
yeah, man. I was trying my big vision, man. I wanted to have like graffiti all over the wall type thing, black light type, just that whole real underground type look. But God had other plans.
Guess who you have in the comments?
Oh, I just saw somebody said the remnant. That was different. That was different. The remnant was different. I don't yeah. To this day, I don't know.
Describe the remnant.
All right, so let's just talk about the phase where they were at kind of their peak when they were in the gym or Good Luck Road.
Mm-hmm.
I've never and I've been to some churches and events and stuff all over the nation. Really, as far as like youth and a whole bunch of stuff, I don't think I ever seen anything like the remnant, especially from us. Like sometimes you see some of the other people, they'll have some energy packed events like that with the rock bands going and stuff like that. But the remnant was different, man. And I think that if it wasn't for the remnant, we would nowhere near have as much following as we had. They gave everybody a platform before you even played there, because most people we were giving out flyers there because they had the youth, like, and I'm not just talking about the overly spiritual, like uh the suit and tie wearing, like they had youth that were just everyday people. Like they had youth that were coming from high schools and all over the place, like, yo, where you going? I'm going to church. Like, it was, I had never I've never like witnessed just so many people that weren't like necessarily like brought up or overly churchy, just coming and understanding why they're there, getting this word. Like, shout out to PJ, Mr. Olympian coach. He used to I said PJ, JP. Wait, what? Yeah, Joe Lee. Yeah,
Okay, so just so folks know, you said Olympic coach.
yeah.
Who did he?
Quincy Wilson he's just track coach up at Bullis. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So went from glory to glory. Honestly, like,
Yeah.
did his thing with Remnant and then went over there and did his thing with that too. But yeah, he had a way. I mean, of course, everybody's got a team, but he had a formula over there where kids were coming for the music and then getting locked in and turning out to be sold out. Like, you have your everyday teens going to these retreats like in the hundreds, and I had just never really seen that. People not going to church on Sunday, but they going to the Remnant on Friday night. Like, just don't you, you just don't really see that anywhere. So with him having the youth locked in, it was easy for us to kind of come in there and just exploit what he created. Like, hey, y'all want to come to some more go-go? Like, we do it too over here. Yeah, let's go. Come on. So yeah, the Remnant was great. And then when we played there, like, it was a kind of a surreal feeling when the curtains came back and you saw all those people that were standing there. It's like, whoa, this is really a gymnasium full of people, like full. So that was amazing. Shout out to Remnant. Shout out to Zion Church and everything they got going on.
That
Vertical,
was,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so they had that locked down on a
Yeah,
Friday night. So let's paint the picture, right? So you have a gym, right, with a great sound system, right?
yeah,
They had lights, camera action. So like lights. Brent's camera disappeared. We'll have him come back. I'm gonna paint this picture, right? All right. So you had an amazing atmosphere You had lights, smoke, camera, action. You had all kind of great things, right? And then you had a it felt like 1,000 young people in it at one time. That's what it felt like. So yeah. So we're gonna add Brent back. There you go,
My bad.
Brent.
My phone ringing to kick me out.
Hey, I get it. It's all good, my man. It's all good. It happens sometimes. All right. So I was painting a picture of what the remnant was, right?
Mhm.
So lights, camera, action, smoke machines, 1,000 kids, and this is every Friday,
Every
right?
Friday. Every Friday.
And if you wanted one of the most electric atmospheres, I'm talking about kids get thrown in the air, crowd
Yeah.
surfing, all kind
Yeah.
of stuff. You can only find this at the gospel boat.
That's it. That's it.
Only find this gospel boat.
That's it. Nothing like it.
All right, so real quick, we got Josh Jenkins in the building. He says that
They did
young
not.
disciples did not come out of First Baptist Church of Glen Ark. So guess what, sir? We need to have you on the stage so
Yeah.
that you can get the background of young disciples, right? So let's work it out. Let's put that together. Let's get the Jenkins boys on the line.
Hey, Josh, why couldn't you just take that? I put you in the top 3, man. Why you got to come critiquing and fact checking?
All right. So let's see here. So you said that Remnant, Pulse 360, Ebenezer. Okay. So what is the most iconic show that you can remember? The show that you always will remember for the rest of your life when you played with CRB. What is that show?
I mean, probably the most recent, the reunion that we did with 2019. Because for me, that was kind of like almost closing the book. Like it gave us, it gave me that sense of, all right, this is it. I feel like the way the show came together, I feel like the place that it happened outside, free of charge to everybody, like Rio Sound, Deuce 9 on the engineering, like it was just, this is it. This is So I think we did pretty doggone well. That show, I think it went pretty well. That the reunion might be it. But I got a lot of shows I really like though, man. I got a lot of moments that
Let the people know. Ain't the picture. Uh-oh. Brent has disappeared yet again. As you can see, Brent is Mr. Important at work. Looks like they are always calling him because they need his services. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We're gonna get Brent back on the line. We're gonna get Brent back. All right. So Josh, you said that you were the only member from First Baptist Church of Glen Arden. Okay. This whole time I thought all of y'all came from First Baptist. That's hilarious. Never knew. All right. So Folly says that CRB has one show left in. So we'll see if we can put this together. And, let's see if we can put this together. All right. So we're still waiting for Brent to come back. Let's see. So for all the people watching, because we got people everywhere. We got people on YouTube. We got people on Instagram watching. We got people on Facebook watching. What are your most iconic shows that you can remember from CRB? Okay, so we have the New Year's Eve show at the school in Forestville was iconic. That's from Vincent Thomas. And I think, hey Brent, you're muted. Make sure your volume is on. Still can't hear you. Tap your screen and make sure your mic is on. Still can't hear you, sir. So click on the settings and see what you got. All right, so we're working through it. We're working through it. We got some little bit of technical difficulty, but we're gonna work through it. Uh-oh. All right, so he's jumped back out. We're gonna get him. He gonna jump back in. All right. So on Facebook, Trey Saunders is watching. You got Ray Nelson watching. So if you guys are on a different platform from YouTube, and if you want to be more a part of the conversation, if you want your message to be read out directly and on the screen, jump over to YouTube. Go to Gospel Go Go 411 on YouTube. Also, make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you can be aware of all of what's going on and all these great interviews that we got lined up, because we got some special ones coming. For real. For real. All right. So, Josh, yeah. Brent definitely mentioned that you were one of the early managers for CRB. And yeah, he shared some stories, you know. Yeah. But we definitely will remind him when he comes back up, when he comes back online. So he should be back shortly. Okay. All right. So we've talked about in the comments, we talked about some of CRB's greatest hits that you guys love so much. We've talked about some of the iconic shows. So Josh says, that okay. So Young Disciples was from Suitland High School. Got it. Okay. So that's where everybody came from. Okay. That was a lot of talent in that building. That high school dropped some super talent, because Young Disciples was a phenomenal band. A phenomenal band. All right. Let's see here. What we got coming up here? We're still working on these technicals. All right. So don't forget, if you want to hear more of CRB, you can listen to them at any time throughout the day. If you look in the comments, or actually in the description of this video, Doesn't matter what platform you're on. You could be on Instagram. You could be on Facebook. You could be on YouTube. There's a link to the Gospel Go-Go 411 radio. It's a 24/7 online radio station that plays Gospel Go-Go all the time. So you got all your favorite bands, whether it's from the old to the new, right? And yeah, so go ahead and check out the radio station. Okay, Brent is back, and
I don't know what is going on.
Hey, you know how it is sometimes. You know,
Yeah.
you a techie. You know how it is.
Oh, my iPad ain't recognizing my microphone, and then this phone started tripping. I had to restart it, but we here. We gonna make it work.
We back. People still here. They waiting on it.
Thank y'all for being patient.
All right. So Josh said he mentioned his managerial duties that he did, and he wanted you to talk about that. So you got any more special stories regarding that time?
No, I mean, for real, Josh helped me a lot though. I mean, besides the manager part, Josh was full-time Josh at that time too. Like, I think he was just becoming a police officer, and his band was phasing out and doing drama stuff and plays and all that. So he had a lot going on. It just made sense at the time because he was Jimmy's brother and he had a band, and I figured he knew what to do. But he didn't really have time. And again, we weren't serious at that time either. But when it came time to like start learning really the art of it, me and Josh had a whole lot of conversations. We would listen to CDs on the way to go play football on Sundays, and he would kind of, one thing he told me, just stop yelling. You lay back a little bit. You don't have to scream. Lay back a little bit. So I mean, little stuff like that, little pointers, helped me tremendously. And I'll always be grateful for Josh. I mean, even to this day, like Josh helps me through life. Him and his wife, they talk to me and my wife all the time about different stuff. So like, Josh is a lifetime big brother that I couldn't imagine doing life without. So.
All right. So we got one more question. We got a bunch of questions, but we got one question from a dick, right?
Okay.
All right. So here we go. What made y'all take a break before y'all came out with the song Back Once Again?
So we took a break because we just weren't on point with what we were doing. It started just to become routine. We were going through the motions. The God aspect of it wasn't really taking hold of us. We were kind of like just laying and playing show type of feel. I remember we used to have Bible studies as a band too, and we had a guy come named Kenneth Cole. Shout out to him, but he came and led one of our Bible studies, and one of the things I always remember he said was about the boat, and he made us literally all row in the boat, and then he made somebody go the opposite direction, and he said the moment that one person is going the opposite direction, you're not going to get to where you want to go as quickly, as efficient, and as good as you could if everybody was going the same direction. So when we took that break, it was to get us all rowing in the same direction. It wasn't too long. I think it was a couple months that we had to just lock in. I think we put the instruments down, and we're just doing the Bible study piece on Sundays for real.
Okay. Let's see here.
And I think that catapulted us to doing a whole lot better as well. Because I mean, I think when Back came out, that was another transition in CRB, another turning point. I think Back kind of moved from the Jesus music era to what's next. So yeah, I think it was well worth it.
Speaking of Jesus music, Jesus music was another iconic gospel go-go song.
Yeah,
and even to this day, it's one of the most played gospel go-go songs.
for real.
You really is. All right.
Yeah.
So, how did that rendition come about?
How did we come up with Jesus music? I do remember that Chittum's voice was the one on the same.
Real quick. Let me get some framework. You're listening to gospel rap and you are familiar with the rapper Lecrae.
Mm-hmm.
This song came from Lecrae,
Mm-hmm.
but when CRB got a hold of it,
Yeah.
it went through the roof.
Yeah.
But
So
go ahead.
I remember it was one of those battles because we used to always talk about, hey, let's do a sample, or whether or not we were going to do it, because like I said earlier, we were pushing the originality thing. So if we used a sample, it was going to be one of those things that, all right, we're not original anymore. So it was really a battle. I can't remember. I don't know if Buddy Love or somebody can chime in and say who the person was that literally said, let's do this song. But we had the group text and we would bounce stuff around, and it came about like that. I know Chittum's voice was on the sample though. I do know that for sure. Um, yeah, and I think I remember being at home and making up the turn this up, crank this loud part, and it was just like, all right, this is gonna be the only parts of the song really like. It was just we just gonna let it ride with the sample and see what it comes about. But that's why also I have to give credit to Want It, because in my mind I'm thinking, all right, this is the height. Like, so we put the sample on the song and you just let it go, and we had the one little part where we turn this up, crank it loud, and all right, that's it. But then when Want It came back and you start hearing songs like David Dance and stuff, and you hear, oh, you can do all these type of parts with it. Like, okay, it could be a verse, right? Oh, it could be, that's how it should go. So, yeah, I mean, we thought Jesus Music definitely did what it was supposed to do, but we grew from there quickly, because I think that was when, and we gave out so many CDs. We burned so many single CDs. Like, I don't know, it felt like we were in New York on our underground rapper hustler. Like, we burned so many of just the single though, like just that song. I remember we put our information on the cover, how to follow us, how to reach us, how to book us or whatever. And we were just like literally throwing these CDs out. Wherever we went, we would just take a stack of CDs. Here you go, here you go, here you go. And it was that one song, and we were letting it kind of carry us, almost like Mumbo Sauce and Miracles kind of did. Like that one song, like open the door for them to be able to do a whole lot of stuff, and we were kind of in that same regard.
So okay, so where did y'all record that at?
What was Michi's spot in Bladensburg? Music Junkies. Yeah, Music Junkies. Yep, we did it right in there. Yep.
Shout out to Meech.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we recorded it right in there, and that was really our first time recording anything. And we did that, and I think we probably ran through it like 4 or 5 times and took the best take. And that was all she wrote. Yeah.
Did y'all ever get any feedback from Lecrae?
Not that I know of. I think he did. I think he did hear it though. I think he did hear it, but I don't remember if we saw a comment or anything like that. But I think he did hear it.
We got so many people that are connected.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
We have to get him to give an opinion some way, sometime.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm down for it.
Yeah. Hey, Farley, can you put that together?
You're right.
Right.
Yeah, that's the man with the plan.
Yeah. All right. All right. So Farley says this. His favorite CRB song is the original Praise Party with the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that is Farley the Kool-Aid man?
That's probably why he likes it. Great correlation. But no, Kool-Aid, it was like the.
My bad.
It was kind of a dance that I think I was even playing drums still when we first started doing that. But it was like a dance. It's kind of like you mixing up Kool-Aid type thing, and it just, yeah, that was all it was. Farley would like that.
Oh man. Okay. All right. So Adele, right? Adele says, man, CRB blessed us by traveling down to University Maryland Eastern Shore, UMass, to perform and only charge for the sound, since it was outside and reached a lot of others on campus that heard the crank and came out and got the word. So
Yeah.
tell us about that.
Now that was definitely fun. Matter of fact, I think Meech was our sound man for that one. He brought the sound out, and we were, I don't know if it's like an old basketball court or a little parking lot they had right there, but we played outside. It was tight. I think I remember. I think Nay was our singer at that time, and she either got stuck at work or stuck in traffic or something, and she wasn't going to make it, so we didn't even have a singer. But her friend was out there, and I think she sang in the choir and stuff with her, so she sang with us. And then we used a lot of crowd singing, and we had a good time. I remember we were going out walking with the crowd and dancing with the crowd, and like that was definitely a vibe. It's always cool when you get to party with people who are like in your age bracket too. So at that time, like we were in that college age, so it was cool to be able to have your peers and not just play for your peers and they look at you or not be out there, but to hear it from their dorms and come walking over to see what's going on. That was really dope.
All right. Another from Adele. Janae said that she lost her purse.
Yeah, I
And
knew it was something. I couldn't remember what happened. Yeah, something happened and she couldn't make it. And Daisha saying, "Yep, that's it." Hey Adele, man, what's up, man? Long time. Good to hear from you, bro.
all right. Okay, so question. How many okay, so hold on before we go to the question. So from my recollection, Phil, Buddy Love,
Uh-huh.
he attended UMass too, right?
Yeah. Yep. He graduated.
All right. So was that the only time y'all played?
I think
Or
we played up there. I think we played up there more than once. Maybe twice. It wasn't too many times. I think we twice at the max, I believe.
okay.
Phil used to come home every weekend in his little Honda. Yeah, he was pushing that joint. A hill might take him about 5 minutes to get up the hill. But he was pushing that. He was coming home every weekend for shows, or if we didn't have a show, for practice, like faithfully. So gotta give him credit for that. Definitely dedicated.
Yeah. Okay, so were you all able to transition the new eyeballs that were on CRB at different colleges and different places to travel and to follow you guys?
Yeah. So everywhere we went, I was always not just me, but shout out to Erica too, who was our manager for a good long run for the. I would say for the height of CRB, she was our manager. She definitely was gonna tell any and everybody that she could about what we had going on. But I always tried to take things show by show, event by event, know our personnel, know who we're dealing with. So that way when we approach it in a way that, one, they'll ask us to come back, and two, they'll tell somebody else about us. Like even I remember one time we played for 100-year church anniversary black tie affair banquet at the Camelot. I think it was like $100 a ticket or something like that to get in there, and they had us. Like I don't know, what I mean? Like it can't explain why. I don't understand. I mean, they said that they wanted to have something for the younger generations too, but we played. Might have been like 2 songs, maybe. That was all our time was for. But after it, they asked us to come back. And of course, because of the event, we kept it smooth, little pocket socket, like little songs like that. We weren't going into too much of a bounce. But afterwards, they wanted us to let it all hang out, for lack of a better term. They were standing on tables and chairs with their napkins up in it, like they were really getting it in. So I say that because I pride myself on saying we can go from the underground to going to a black tie affair and we still get the same response. Like that's what we want. We don't want to play and the response be dictated on if the crowd just likes us. We want everybody to find something about us that they can get with. Something in there that give you a foot tap. Something that says, "Oh, this is clean," or don't sound like a bunch of noise. Like something that gives you that melodic feel.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right. So I'm gonna throw this at you again.
Uh,
The people are interested in a reunion. We'll just go. You know how they always say the more often you keep hearing something, it might just go ahead and become reality. So
Yeah.
we'll say, hey, the people want this reunion. So prayerfully, hey, you guys pray about this. You guys put your faith on this.
Man.
Hey, you ain't gotta say nothing right now. You ain't gotta say nothing right now. You ain't gotta say nothing right now. We're gonna just keep
Oh
throwing
man.
it in there. We're gonna put it in there.
All right, it's in the atmosphere. It's dwelling in
There.
the atmosphere. There you go.
There you go. There you go. All right. So Erica was a great manager for you guys. She fought for you guys,
Yeah,
right?
for sure. For sure.
So question. So we talked about Young Life, we talked about Remnant and the different retreats. Did y'all ever go and play at any of the retreats?
Yeah, we played at who used to go up to the mountains? Highland Park used to go up to the mountains, and they had a retreat up there. Mount Enon, we played at their retreat. Man, it's like going back through the Rolodex. I feel like I need the stack of old booking forms to go through it. Look and remember. Highland Park's retreat was pretty iconic. I remember the floor was trampolining in there. Like, I thought it was gonna go, honestly. I thought it was gonna cave, but it was literally like you could feel things going like that, to the point that they came upstairs and were like, hey, y'all gotta settle down, chill out a little bit, because the floor looks like it's gonna cave in. But they were having a good time and it didn't cave, so I'll take it. But that was definitely a good time. I think one time when we played at I don't know if it was a retreat. I was gonna say we played at Mount Calvary, Rhode Island, where we played across the street in that building. It's actually I don't know if we put the whole CD out, a couple of songs from that, but they were telling us it was winter and it was raining and nasty and cold outside, but they had the heat jacked all the way up, like it was unbearable, like it was bad. So now you mix that with a whole bunch of people in there as well, like packed wall to wall. Man, you know, my fat self, I was taking my shirt off and I was in the beat. So, and they came and told us that we got to put our shirts back on and we can't. I said, let me tell you something. If y'all don't get the airflow in here, like, it's not like we can't, like, I'll die. Like, I wore a sweater today, like literally, like I can't stay in here like that. And then they kind of, not the role, but they kind of said some stuff about, like, you know, sinning and leading people to do some stuff. But, you know, I kind of let them know that, no, we're going to do this the way we do it. You all booked us for who we are, and we're going to be who we are, or we can respectfully just, you know, shut it down. But this is who we are. Like, and it went through. The rest of the show went pretty well. We kept doing what we were going to do. But yeah, we played at a whole, most mega churches that had a retreat, we kind of touched it at some point in time or another, or youth explosion.
So we got comment from Peanut Roy. My favorite show was No Weapon and CRB in the basement at East Friendship on Brooks Street North.
You got me on that one, Peanut. Dang, you got me on that one. East Friendship in the basement. Did it look like a basement? I don't remember that one.
Wasn't East Friendship was Zoe's church, right?
Oh, maybe so. Maybe so. Maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe so. Maybe so. Maybe so.
You know, one of my favorite shows from CRB.
What's that?
Playing at what's that church on Southern Avenue? And y'all should play right there at Southern Avenue and Owens Road. Church right there on the hill. Big church.
The church they stay in there, or their service real long.
Yeah.
A
lot of churches got service long.
Dang, what's the name of that church? I know what you're talking about.
I don't think there's a church You say it again?
Huh?
Uh-oh, you're breaking up. You're breaking up.
Uh-oh.
All right, say it again.
Not the temple.
Yes.
Yeah, temple.
Yes.
Yeah.
Temple of Praise.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was some dope shows there.
Yeah, they definitely had some good stuff in there.
When y'all played at Victory.
Oh yeah. That was some iconic moments too. Yeah. Wow. Victory. You see, they had their own following, their own like.
They had a whole community.
Yeah, like, and they were them. They were like they were them. Like they were who they were. They were unique. Like they weren't trying to be like anybody else. They weren't trying to copy anybody else's like what anybody else ministry or what they had going on. Like they were who they were. Like so, the mob. Like you always got to respect what they were doing and how they moved. And then Rez, that's my guy. Like the uniqueness and creativity of him. Like it's only one of him. Like it's yeah.
Yeah. You know what's funny? We remember Red as a little kid.
Yeah.
Right? Coming to practice. He would come from school, go into the church, and play the drums from, I guess, school get out with like about 2 something.
Yeah.
All the way until we practice with Exodus at like 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
I mean, just going.
Yeah.
Right. So he is one of those individuals that you can say put the work.
Yeah, for sure.
And
for
then
sure.
you saw it come out, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember the first time y'all heard him play. And y'all was shocked. Let's
yeah.
say that.
With ICB, I think.
No. He got on. No, he got on with y'all. It was just like he just got on.
I thought you meant like the first time I heard him. Period. Like the first time I heard him. Period was back with ICB. But yeah, when he got on with us, it was. I mean, well, ultimately he ended up playing with us later on down the road. So, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
He did it all.
Yeah.
So we got to get that lined up too.
Yeah, he another one.
Right?
He's another one.
All right, so we got Temple of Praise. Of course, anything Paul's 360. Those epic. And
all white show. I mean, I know we just said the post, but all white.
Yes, let's talk about
the
all white gospel go-go.
Yeah, right? That was a CD we released too. We didn't release many show CDs because I was very critical of myself and everybody. So a lot of live CDs we didn't release, but that was one that definitely went out and did what it was supposed to do. Like that was a good shift for the movement as a whole. It was good. It was good. Hats off to you. Yeah, that was good. That was good.
And wanted. We was a collective.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Push that. But just to paint the picture for those that don't know, when we say the all white party, we did a all white gospel go-go. So you come in your all white, and pretty much you sweat it out.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, brown stains by the end of the night. Yeah.
So
it was 4th of July too, wasn't it? Was it 4th of July?
Yeah, exactly. Right. We did the all white parties on the 4th of July. Correct.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. That was, I think that took it up another level.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody came clean.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say, because we got the video of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Y'all did it.
That was a good night.
My dude.
That was a good night. No, that definitely was a good night. It felt good for everybody though. Like I think that it was just the atmosphere had. I don't really remember who played first, but I remember that it just kept stepping. It kept stepping. The night did what it was supposed to do. The night did what it was supposed to do. It was a great night. Yeah.
You know what? Good. Now we might need to bring that back. You're all right. I'm just saying.
I mean,
I can put back on. I'm just saying.
Well, I can't fit mine.
Hey, you can get some new ones.
You definitely would have to get something new.
True. Oh man, I totally forgot about that. Man. Cause so it was Radical, it was CRB, I think Elevated Vision played. I feel like it's another band. Mission
Did
played.
Mission play? I was gonna say, was Mission on the car? I think Mission played that night.
Mission was on it.
Yeah.
And was Walk by Faith on it? Or that might have been before Walk by Faith time.
I think it was a little before. I don't think they were on that night. I don't think they were.
Y'all, okay. I will say this about the bounce beat era of gospel go-go. Y'all had like 50,000 bands.
Yeah.
Y'all was playing all the time. I mean, y'all was beat. Salute to the bounce beat era of gospel go-go.
Yeah, it definitely was a whole lot of bands. It was a lot of bands. Which is a great thing. I mean, because the other option would be to have come up, a secular band doing whatever, and people were choosing that. So, yeah, it was a lot of bands though.
It had bands all the way in Electric Park.
Yes.
Coming up.
Yes. So we went out there a couple times. Yes. Went out there a couple times. St. Mary's.
Yeah. Oh man. It was some good memories. Yeah,
for sure. And that's what, man, I know you experienced it, like throwing your own shows. People would feel slighted if they couldn't get on the card or if they had to play at a certain position at the card. Like, it was just like, well, I don't know. what can I do? It was a lot of bands try to show everybody love.
I think that I don't think I really only had a couple instances where it was that type of situation.
Yeah.
But for the most part, everybody was like, hey, let's just go ahead and out here and do
it. Yeah.
Somebody gotta play first.
Somebody. Yeah. Exactly. It has to happen. Yeah. No, it was cool though. It definitely, I think I pretty much had the chance to hear everybody from that era. I don't think it's anybody that I didn't get to hear. So yeah, it was a good era. It was cool, man. A lot of different people, a lot of different approaches, a lot of different swag to it. It was a good era. It was a good time.
True. If you could see these comments on Facebook, we got some people over here. We got P. over here. We got some Higher Heights over here.
Yeah.
Right, so
shout out to P. I learned a lot from them too. Like, let me say this.
Okay.
I think, first of all, I think they had the perfect timing because when they were playing, they were killing, and it wasn't really anybody else that was doing what they were doing, like for real at all. So it was easy for me to gravitate to them. First of all, me and Dre and the twins, we all became, I was going to their practice every Sunday too, because I was also learning not just the music side of it, but the godly aspect that they brought to it too was admirable, and I respected it a lot. So I think that I learned a whole lot from them, especially Dre. But he'll tell you he learned a lot from Kofat and people like that. So but yeah, I mess with P-Dot. Shout out to them. Shout out to P-Dot. Those are my guys and lady.
So we have David Leonard or Leonard.
Super Dave.
Matt. James Line.
Yeah.
And from High Heights, we got DeAndre Traverse. We got some folk in here. And no telling how many people we got on Instagram.
Man, thank y'all for listening, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Hold on. Let me say this. We got Keyboard KYD on Instagram. He said that during the white party, Radical played first that night. Right. He also says that he was in there chopping. Let's just say that. And then a lot of great bands during that time he had coming from Winchester, Virginia.
Ooh.
Yeah. People was coming
Yeah.
from all over to the
They,
gospel go-go.
they were. My eye opener was really when we did the lottery lineup show, that New Year's show. Like literally, we didn't start till 2 a.m. Like
I was sleepy as a mug getting in that.
everybody was. But so I think when we go to having shows and talk about the failing and what you learn before, most people still go to church on New Year's for watch night service. So in my mind, people look for the move after that. So we'll be the move after that. Now, looking back on it, we probably shouldn't have had 6 bands at 2 o'clock in the morning. It probably should have been 2 or 3.
What time is y'all even in? I think I went home.
Yeah, it might have been like 6. It might have been over like 5, 6 in the morning. It was late.
So literally, y'all beat the street lights. So pretty much, if somebody could have got in trouble,
Yeah,
because they ain't make it home
at all. But they were out there. I think according to the door, it was well over 1,000 people that came though. According to the door, so that it was definitely a risk, but it worked out. Won't do it again, but
God had it all under control.
Yeah, man.
God was like, "Hey, I got you. Don't worry."
Yeah, because we were crazy. That's because we used to stay up all night anyway, like after shows and stuff at Phil's house, Buddy Love's house, or whatever. We would be up all night. So saying something started at 2, that ain't mean nothing, I guess, back then. Nowadays, I feel like I'll die if you say something starts at 8.
Bro. So this is okay. I'm not making up this name on Instagram. I'm not talking about nobody.
Okay.
This disclaimer before I say this name.
Right. Okay.
So the bougie fat girl.
Oh Lord.
That's why we need to bring it back. LOL. I'm just saying that's another person that's putting it in the atmosphere.
So we got about 6. That ain't gonna cover the expenses.
But I think though, if you put it out there, you get way more.
No. I definitely believe. Like I say all the time. Like we didn't just have like fans or people that like the music. We definitely had supporters, and I respect people for that. Like it's not, people didn't just say, "Oh yeah, they're tight," but people were like, "Oh no, they're playing there. We're going. Like we're going. Where are they? We're going." I remember one time we did a competition in Baltimore where I think it was like $30 a ticket, and we played one song, and we sold a ton of tickets. We were actually supposed to go and play in Florida after that, but I think it was a scam. But never
competition, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking. When we went to Baltimore, and it was like a lot of people came out there. A lot of people came, but that's why I say like regular, people that just like the music aren't doing all that. You gotta be a supporter. You gotta believe in the people that's doing it. You gotta be vested in it. Like you gotta feel a part of what's going on, and that's why I appreciate the people who pushed us in that regard tremendously.
So, okay.
Uh-oh, don't let me lose you again. Uh-oh. Is that me? What?
In the chat.
Oh, there we go.
You'll hear us. Let us know. Somebody post something in the chat. Any of these chats. But anyway, all right. I think we're back. I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're good.
I think we're good. All right. So I forgot where I was going. I had something smooth. Oh man. All right. It'll come back.
We talked about what Miss Bougie said. Another show. Then we talked about the competition show.
Mm-hmm. Hey, we okay. Yeah, so we talked about scam show, the scam competition show. Okay, so have y'all played? Okay, I got one. I got a good question. So, if you guys could have done a collaboration with any gospel artist who would it have been?
At that time, it would have definitely been Molly. Yeah, or Ty, Molly or Ty. At that time, for sure.
So
Yeah,
were
Ty
there
because
okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Ty just because of the energy and what he brings, you already know how that goes. And I always felt, man, when the industry people do go-go songs, I never feel like it's done right. So like even like he had Victory, that was a great song, it did numbers, but that joint just wasn't go-go done right. So I always used to want the opportunity to show the artist how to do it right. Gotta give it that authenticity. Um so yeah, I think that Molly or Ty, Molly was killing at that point in time, and that's what back once again. That's where that came from. He had a song, I'm going back, like and back. Yeah, so yeah.
So okay, so I remember at one of the all-white parties, Molly Music was playing at First Baptist Church of Glenard that same night.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any chance that he was gonna pull up, or is there any chance that y'all got y'all music to him, or
I
anything?
don't even know if we got an opportunity to go, or if we did go, we were out of the door so quick trying to get to the show. Not I mean, I had a conversation with Molly before, but not really anything to get music to him. I mean, I think I probably struggle with self-consciousness in some of those regards. Like I'd rather have a conversation and get some knowledge rather than try to push my music to you. Because I feel like when music is supposed to reach the right person, it reaches them. And that's just not just go-go. I think that's anywhere. If you write a love song or if you write whatever, I think when it's supposed to hit the right ears, it hits the right ears. And I think that me, myself, if I'm shooting straight, I didn't always like when people forced me to hear music at a time where I might not have wanted it to, or not even been able to dissect it properly at the time. So I think that a lot of those times where I could have probably pushed the band or pushed what we were doing, I more so wanted to receive, to get some wisdom, I guess.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I get that one. Okay, so who is your favorite person to feature with CRB from Gospel Go-Go?
Man, that's tough. So people that I always let get on, I will always let Wayne get on. I always let Steph get on. Let Red get on. I don't feel like as many opportunities presented itself to let Eric get on, but I did my Eric was like a little bro because he was in CRB where he had the dreads and everything. We scooped him up from Remnant. Eric, very talented guy too. Who was the lead mic of Elevated Vision. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't mind Eric getting on. But I think it just worked out the most that between Showtime and Wayne, they probably did the most features with us.
Okay. If you could go back and change one thing about y'all run with CRB, what would it be?
All right, this is loaded because I think about it all the time. So I met with a lady who actually worked with Young Life. Her name was Kamira. And I'll never forget, we met down at Starbucks at Howard and talking about, ministry things and the next step and where things are going. And she asked me, like, of course, and this is when the underground had just kind of started. I think we had just had the first one. So it was packed. There was a lot of people looking like things are looking up. She looked at me and said, all right, so what do you do when your band quits on you and stops playing? And I looked at her like, band quits. Like, we just getting in the stride right now. Like, that's not happening. So I kind of dismissed it. It almost made me arrogantly angry, because it was like, how dare you say something like that? Like, see, that's my baby. Like, you know what I mean? We started this thing and we're watching it blossom, we're watching it grow, watching it do its thing. And you talking about, all right, now what do you do when the music stops? Like, what's like, she said, it's going to happen. And I kind of looked at her like, you crazy. And shortly after that, is when things started kind of unraveling, and people started. No, we never beefed. I never beefed with any member, anybody I left. It was never off of arguing or never off of bad terms. People just moved to different things in their life. But shortly after that is when people started kind of going different directions. And I found myself trying to, all right, well, we can get this person to play here. We can get this person to play here. We can get this person to play here. And I spent a lot of time trying to make the sound like what it did sound like when we had other pieces, that I wasn't enjoying what I was doing as much. And I really think all of it goes back to the fact that I didn't have a plan for when the music stops. And that's where my biggest regret is, because that's where I feel you had Remnant, or you had Vertical, but Vertical was successful because of Remnant. We had CRB, but we didn't have Remnant in context, if you understand what I'm saying. I didn't have anything where we're continuing to develop people, and people are getting connected. People were coming to shows and everything, but after the show, then what? Like, so I think that's where my biggest regret is, that I wasn't mature enough to handle that question so that I could have learned what she had to say next. That's my biggest regret.
Have you reached back out to her?
No, I mean, I see her on social media every now and then, but I mean, I also feel like it's seasons for everything. And I believe some people don't know when to let go, and you end up making more of a mockery than a ministry, I guess. And I believe that's like most pastors started out in youth. If they never moved from that, then I mean, Pastor Battle, like it's the youth ministry. Imagine if he never moved, you know what I mean? Like, imagine if he was still stuck trying to make that his main thing. How many people would not be affected? You know what I mean? So I think that's definitely when I realized that was the shift, and me not being mature enough to answer that question. But I'm mature enough now to know that when it happened was probably when it was supposed to happen.
Perfect sense.
Yeah.
Perfect sense. Okay, so how did you feel first time that you heard CRB on Praise 104 point?
Man, the first time. Well, so I think before I heard this on 104.1, did we make DJ Big John Crank Session?
Yes,
I think we made that first. And I remember we were at Rio's. We had just finished practicing. And we were kind of out, just talking out there. And I don't remember who said turn the radio on, turn the car up, whatever, or somebody sent the text. But I remember, Rio's used to be on that alleyway, that back little warehouse thing. I took off sprinting and screaming the whole way down the street, like, because it just, and not that I felt like, all right, we made it, but it felt like job well done, kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that a church is playing our music at their youth event. Like, no, we're in the crank session at the time. We're with that Bama be cranking right now. He think that we be cranking, so he played. So like that for me, I remember I took off sprinting down the street. I was so hyped.
Okay,
It was a great feeling.
What is the significance of being on DJ Big John's show?
You said the significance of what? Say it one more time.
On being on DJ Big John's show. What's that?
He had the crank session. So if you made it on the crank session, then you were one of those guys. Like your band was doing what they were supposed to do. Was it 30 minutes or an hour? It wasn't a long. He didn't have a very long radio show. It wasn't like the morning show, 3-4 hours. It was a quick segment where he was going to play whoever got him something hot for that time. And we had sent the music before. Like, I'm sure other bands, a lot of people send the music, but everybody don't get picked. And I know that some DJs, they'll take a little bit of cash to play. Like, we didn't pay them any money. So it was really like we earned that moment, for me anyway. And then it started to become a little bit more often. I remember Angie Ann started messing with us a little bit, and she started liking some of the songs and the music. So it started going in a good direction after that. But I never that first time, and I think it was this the first song we got on the radio was a song that we made for the NFL coming back. Um, it sounded like the Monday Night Football. It was like a little smooth little socket, and it was it was no NFL on Fox. Dun, 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 dun. And we wrote verses, basically naming people from this area and using metaphors like we're awaiting his glorious return, like Devin Hester. Like that was like, so we were using little stuff like that was still pointing to, but it was because of the start of the new NFL season. And I think that was the gimmick that got us on the radio the first time. I think that's what he heard because it was the week 1 of the NFL.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't think we never played that song live or anything like that. It was just something that we recorded real quick and put out there.
Okay. All right. So, which radio station was it?
You said which radio station was what?
Which radio station was the radio show on?
93.9 WKYS.
WKYS.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
So y'all have been featured on many platforms.
Yeah.
God has looked out for you guys.
Yeah, tremendously. Tremendously.
Right?
I say it all the time. We ain't deserve it. We didn't deserve it because I mean, like, people looked at us like we were more than what we were. Like we were teenagers. We were not teenagers. We were a little bit older than teenagers, but we were young people that's going through life, trying to figure stuff out, dealing with all the things that the world comes with, whether it be depression, alcoholism, drug abuse, the crazy lust, and all. Like we were in the midst of that stuff too. So to know that our testimonies and our struggles weren't in vain, and that some people could hear it and be like, man, that what you said y'all went through, or what y'all were going through, what you're going through, man, that really has helped me out because I'm actually going through the same thing, man. Like that was the feeling of fulfillment for me. That was the feeling of, all right, man, if the speaker blow out and the bass line don't sound the same, that right there, that moment right there made it all worth it. So and it helped us to stay on point too, because one thing I never really wanted to be was a hypocrite. So I didn't want to be up there saying one thing and then you catch me in my neighborhood and I'm doing something completely different. Like that's not the wave that I tried to be on. So we were, as a whole, we were trying to walk it how we talked it. But our rehearsal times reflected that. Like it wasn't just come in and plug in your instruments and let's start going to town. It was, all right, let's sit down. Hey, what you struggling with? How's your week going? Like what can I pray about you with? Is anything I can do for you? Like how can I help you? Like what's going on? And that's why we were more than a band, and still to this day, like we're friends and can check each other about little things and hold each other accountable. But it was just more than playing music. We really became family. So it was like every Sunday we practiced at 4, and then we were gonna go to Chipotle, and then we were gonna go to Phil's house and watch the night football game together. Like it was routine. We all knew that was gonna happen, like each and every week. But it just became to the point where we had each other's backs. And I know a lot of people used to turn their nose because it would be 15, 20 people in the basement at Buddy Love's house or at Jimmy's house, or whatever. It'd be people 3, 4 in the morning, like, oh, I know they ain't doing what they're supposed to. Actually, we're together to keep ourselves from doing stuff that we, shouldn't be doing. That's actually why we are all right here, because I'm not gonna sit here and let my man do something completely crazy right beside me without holding him accountable. Like, no, we in this thing together. We laugh and joke with the best. We prided ourselves on not being corny. Like people say all the time, me and Cranky used to joke probably a little too much back in the day. Now that I'm a little bit more mature, but we were gonna have fun. Like we were gonna have some fun together, and I think that was important, that we kind of put a positive outlook on how you can walk the walk, and how you can really fully live it out and still be genuine people. Like we were sneakerheads. We getting all the shoes and getting all the outfits. We want to be fly. We want to go to nice places to eat. We want to do all that stuff. So it all kind of boiled in together and worked for the greater good.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, what are you doing now? Are you still in ministry? What is Brent doing these days?
So, first thing that I find my most pride in and most success in is being a full-time husband and father. That's first and foremost. Being present as much as I can in that. My oldest is getting ready to graduate high school this year from Arundel High School, so shout out to her. My son, he's 11. He plays football. He's pretty solid in that, doing pretty well, and I get to help him out with that. And then I got baby girl who is 4, and she runs everybody. She tells everybody what to do or what not to do. She's got this special ignore switch on her that she we almost thought she needed her hearing tested because she'll ignore the crap out of you. But they're doing well, and my wife is my support system, my help, my confidant, my everything, my partner. Like we're riding through it. So I guess that's important too, because it's easy to look around and feel like you're not doing anything, or like you go from having a big following and being on stage and people booking you and this and that to now it's not that glamorous, it's not that glorious, but you have to shift what you find success in. And I take good pride, just as much pride as I had in CRB when we would hit stage. That's what I have in my family now, and I find fulfillment in my family doing well. And I think people struggle to do that and get caught up in what and that's why also, like, I'm not kicking down the door to have a reunion, because I am fulfilled right now. You know what I mean? Like, if I was sitting around yearning for those days to come back, or wanting those moments where people are looking at me on stage and stuff like that, I probably would be depressed and be, yeah, let's do a show. No, we can make it work. But I'm not in that rent right now. And then I also do part of a couple nonprofits. Laugh Over Losing is what we do, which is like a high school improv comedy show down at Howard University for the high schoolers. It's almost like a Wild 'N Out type thing, but with a little twist, encouraging people to laugh over the idea of losing, whether that be to violence, to health, to mental health, or whatever it is. But we do that. We pack it out with all the different schools, and they come and they have a great time. So that's another pride and joy. Then Pushing Pedals, got a bike group that Josh is actually the president of. But we started that through COVID on accident, kind of like just started riding to have some mental clarity in a tough time where people were bundled up, and it ended up being people, hey, where y'all riding, to having a whole lot of paying members now, that and having meetings on a regular basis, a board, and park police escort the bikes and stuff like so it became a whole thing. So I mean, stuff like that also kind of reminds me that, you know, I'm on the right track. Like, it looks different, but still doing things that honor God. And I play the drums on Sundays.
Still play the drums on Sunday.
Yeah. Tell people all the time, man, you learn how to play an instrument in church or something, man. It's almost like being a barber. Like, you always can find some work somewhere if you need it for a part-time job. Not saying you use it just for that, but I mean, the church I play at is not the church I'm a member of. I go, it's my part-time job. I go, God gave me a gift and I'm able to use it there rather than a whole lot of other places I can name that I could be using it. And then me and my family, we go to First Baptist for service after I finish playing. So, yeah.
Well, sir, this was a great conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, we went back down a few memory lanes.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm gonna put it in the atmosphere one more time.
Yeah, I got you. It's out there.
It's out there, right? We'll see if God moves you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. We're gonna see.
Yeah, this was a pleasure, man, for real.
For sure. I appreciate you thinking highly enough of me to have me on, bro. Real talk, because I don't ever look at myself as like this gospel go-go or like guru or anything like that. But stuff like this is a reminder that my efforts and my time that I put in it wasn't in vain, and that, you know, God honors it. So I appreciate you thinking of me enough to have me on.
Anytime, my brother.
For
So,
sure.
hey, we're gonna eventually have to set up part 2 some way,
Okay.
sometime.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. Got to
Yeah.
come back, see the growth and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so folks, that's gonna end episode 3 with Brent of Critical Revelation, aka CRB, Mr. Husky, aka I don't even know if you got any other name. Mr. Swayze.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more. But if you want to follow what we're doing over here at Gospel Go-Go 411, you can connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. If you want to hear Gospel Go-Go at any time of the day, no matter the day, you can go to our radio station, and you can actually request songs directly through the site. So if you see a song, you got a favorite song you ain't heard in forever, you can hear it at any time, right?
Yeah.
The link is in the description under the video somewhere, and even on the little left-hand corner of this screen, you can there's the link right there. So don't forget, subscribe, check the little bell so that you can be notified when we're getting ready to drop something new. Follow us, like the video, and share it. So again, thank y'all for tuning in. These are the stories behind the crank of Gospel Go-Go, and salute to the big guy Brent pulling up.
Appreciate you, man. Salute to you.
All right.
Appreciate you, bro.
And we catch y'all on the flip.
Yes.